Kraken Valley base, we're ready to go. So this thing I built in the interim. The base is all under here, and I'll talk about it, and you folks can let me know. I thought this would be just a good way to save time, but let me know, would you rather have it this way, where I don't show the build and just talk about it after the fact, or would you rather have me stumble through the build live for however long that ends up taking? You let me know in the comments down below. If it comes up in the chat, there's a very good chance I'll see it, and then I probably won't remember it. As far as the booster goes, this is a booster I've used before. This is the booster that put up the fuel modules that are on the 2 stations that are in low orbit about Kerbin. The only thing I did is I added a bunch of structural fuselages kind of push this gigantic fairing up here so that it is not clipping into all the boosters. Okay, so that's all that was. So once we lose the fairing, I will talk about the actual station, and hopefully everything will go fine. So let's get rid of everything. We are going to Minmus, so Minmus, there we go. Set that as a target. And we are going to launch at one of the nodes here. I can see a node is coming up in 1 hour and 47 minutes, and we will be launching towards the south. Okay, so let's get ready. We'll enter that in. So we're going to be running our launch script. We're going into a -6-degree inclination, 80-kilometer orbit. We'll be going up in a normal orientation, but I do need to get myself to the node here. So let's time warp to that. Oh, we got some funkiness happening with the lights. Is this, I don't know what, I think that was just clouds going overhead. And we'll launch a few minutes ahead. So it does take a little bit to get up there. That's looking pretty good. Okay. So, and launch. Because I do want to launch into an orbit that's in the same plane as Minmus's orbit, because that makes getting out there much easier. Okay, we are off on a pair of twin bore liquid fuel boosters with that glorious sound that they make thanks to the waterfall mod. Oh, and I do have a contract. Why don't I take a look at the contracts here? We have a base creation on Minmus. Yeah, this is it. So this is our contract. It's got to be able to support 4 Kerbals, but doesn't necessarily have to be able to have some Kerbals aboard. You'll see that in just a little bit. It's got to be able to generate power. I mean, that's simple enough, and that's really it. It's a little more than just that, but it's not much more than that. But it's got to land near the Minmus rover. The Minmus rover went up a few weeks ago. We landed some Kerbals nearby to actually do some repairs to it. You might recall that turned into a Kraken-y nightmare, and that's why I call where that rover is the Valley of the Kraken. And there's nothing special about the valley there. There isn't a lot of ore. There's nothing really of interest there, so it's possible I might expand upon this base in the future. It's also possible I might put it there just to satisfy this contract and then call it a day and put my energy towards the moon. We will just have to see. But right now we're going to finish off this stream by completing this. And also don't forget, there are Kerbals in orbit around Minmus. They got to come home. Yeah, the Kraken definitely infected those poor Kerbals in when they were trying to do repairs. It was a pretty shaky, wobbly, glitchy nightmare. All right. And again, don't forget to let me know in the comments below whether you would prefer me just simply talking about these builds or whether you would prefer me to actually do the builds live. Because sometimes doing these builds can take a lot of time, and even fairly simple builds, and I don't know. I worry about it getting kind of boring and about the whole stream kind of stalling on that. It is a big fairing. You will see why it is very, very soon. Alright, so we're just about at 40 kilometers. At 50 kilometers, we are going to lose this fairing, and then probably very soon after that, we'll be losing the 2 boosters and going on to the core. This should be enough. I don't know. All of a sudden, I'm a little worried that it's not big enough, but it is big enough. It's big enough. There's still 1,539 meters per second in this core stage to get to Minmus and land. Alright, so about to lose the fairing, and then you'll get a look at this thing. There we go. It's a little bit messy, but not entirely terrible. So there it is. It isn't... Here, let's light it up. Put the lights on. There we go. And we'll focus our view here. I think we're going to be... Let's lose those boosters first. There they go. Aim the camera. Okay, let's take a look at this. So this is it. Remember, all it required was to be able to support 4 Kerbals and to be able to generate its own power. So my first thought was simply to put 2 of these things together, these little crew cabins that hold 2 Kerbals each, and stick on some solar panels and call it a day. And then I went, oh, let's make it into something that's at least... You know, I could actually put Kerbals on there, and they could live there for a little while, and they could actually survive the night. So I worked out how much electricity this thing uses in terms of pressure control and scrubbers and all of that kind of stuff. And so all of these batteries are here simply to get it through the night. That's enough to get it through the night. There are all kinds of supplies on here: oxygen, nitrogen, food, water, all of that kind of stuff. And then I thought it was still getting kind of boring, so I stuck the copula module on top of it just because I thought it needed it. But that, of course, completely destroyed the symmetry of all this thing, right? Because the center of mass is around here somewhere. So to offset that, if we come towards the back, you can see that it is majorly offset on the fairing. Right? So it's connected to the fairing here so that the center of mass is still lined up over the center of thrust. So, so that's why you can see it connected. Oh, nice flip over there. Nice connection over there. It also has on top of it, again, I put there, a little tiny sky crane, right? So this is just an Oscar B fuel tank. With a probe body and some reaction wheels and some of these 24-77 Twitch liquid fuel engines. There's about 100 meters per second of delta V in this little bit here. And so the whole plan of it is we're going to be doing almost all of the descent on this engine. And then as we close in for the final part of our landing, we're going to detach this, land with this, and then once this thing's safely on the surface, that thing flies off, crashes on the surface somewhere, and that's the end of it. So there's the whole thing. Where is my aim camera and reset camera bit? Like I said, there's not a huge amount to it. I can time warp a little bit, get closer to the burn. We're about to do our orbital insertion here. And again, I don't know. I could also split the difference. Instead of doing what I did with this, I could plan the whole build out and then build it for you live and talk about it. But having a bit of a plan in place might will make that definitely go quicker. So that's sort of the in-between option. Or I could do my builds completely blind, which is what I've been doing in the past in this series. But that can take a while. The time-lapse idea. The time-lapse is kind of hard to do on a live stream, though. I like watching time-lapse builds, too, but I can't go in fast motion live. All right, so that is that all done. We are in a 79 by 79 orbit, so I'm pretty fine with that. I have no idea. What should I do with the... I should go this way for the solar panels. Put it on normal. That works. I'm noticing I've lost the sort of blackness, so that's good. So it's a pretty tall thing, though all of this is just empty. There's no fuel or anything in there. That's just a structural fuselage. Okay. Let's see here. Let's get ourselves to Minmus. So, burn over here. That's clearly too much. That was a good first guess, I think. Oh my gosh, I keep hitting the wrong arrow. Those arrows are too small. I know I can make it bigger, but I don't want to take up the screen real estate with it. Okay. So our target is this waypoint right here. We'll probably do a teeny tiny little correction just to bring this up a little bit. Put ourselves in a bit of an inclined orbit, but it doesn't need to be too inclined. I think that's good enough for now. Alright, and that burn's coming up in a measly 10 minutes, so let's get that done. Run that maneuver executor script for that. Goes. Should be getting itself oriented. Dino, you're saying you have almost no sound from the game? Is that still the case now? KSP sounds are all over the place, so I sometimes find it hard to set the sound setting. Some things are very loud, some things are very quiet. Sometimes the music can get too loud and a little bit obnoxious. I can turn up the sound if people want me to, though. I have it set where I normally have it set. Alright, let's get a little closer. Just a 48-second burn? This thing must have a thrust-to-weight ratio through the roof. 1.69, wow. That's a poodle engine on the back of it, by the way. That's a lot of thrust-to-weight, but oh, we're going to get this burn done quick. Goes. The poodle engine is silent. Even I can't hear it. So, no sound is true. No sound. Well, that's interesting. Let me pop over to my settings here. Definitely, I have sound on my end. Here, let's turn that up. This poodle engine's completely silent. There, I've turned the sound up pretty much as loud as it will go. You can hear the engine's not making a sound. The poodle engine's dead quiet. I'm not sure why. Alright, are we on our way? I should have been looking at that. Can do... Here, let's turn the thrust down on this poodle. Beauty. Alright, that can go that way, and we are going to need to do a little bit of a correction, but not much of one. That's a little bit too much of one. Radially out here a little bit. Oh, radially the other way. Up a bit. Whoa, that was a big change. I want to come in, and you want, like, I want to make sure I can get over this. So I just got to make sure my inclination, my resulting inclination will be higher than latitude. Think about latitude and longitude there for a second. Of the latitude of that. I think it's pretty good. That should be good. That should be good. So we got ourselves a 2.4 meter correction, meter per second correction here. We can turn that thrust even lower. Man, the thrust to weight on this motor is stupid. Okay. There. Let's open up alarm clock. Because don't forget, I do have some Kerbals that are due to come home. You got to keep... They're still 7 over 7 days away. Put that up there. Add a maneuver here. Give me like 2 minutes warning. Okay. Say goodbye to Kerbin. Our observatories are spotting a coronal mass ejection. That's fine. My only Kerbals in space are safely behind radiation shielding, so we are good. And this thing, it doesn't matter. Okay. This guy on the maneuver node. I'm going to do this one manually because it's such a small burn. Oh, I'm still locked on normal there. There we go. And we'll do it right now. There's no reason to have to wait for exactly when, because this is not a time-sensitive burn. There we go. I love these like distant burns because you can just, these mid-course burns, you can just take your time with them. Nothing's urgent. Good enough. Good enough, good enough, good enough, good enough, good enough. Okay, let's add an alarm for our SOI change. That's in sick. What's going to come first? Our Minmus Space Station is going to be ready first. Okay, cool. So just before we get to, a few hours before this gets to Minmus's SOI, we're going to be sending our Kerbals the other way. I do want to get into building bases. I kind of do like building bases. There's a couple of docking ports on either end of this thing, so I can connect things to it. Should work okay. Okay. Time warp. Further away. Where's Minmus? Can we see it yet? Should be coming from over that way. We might not be quite close enough. Alright, we got to get ourselves to Minmus Station. So, we're going to delete that alarm. We're going to jump to that ship. We are landing in the Valley of the Kraken with this thing. But at least there will be no Kerbals around. So, everything in that end should be fine. Okay, so, we got this burn coming up in about 30 minutes. I'm going to delete it because it's I'm going to separate and then it's not going to be doing me any good anyway. I don't need to look at this contract anymore. That's for the other thing. Okay, so what we need to do is, again, let's make sure these guys are all stocked up because they do have a bit of a journey ahead of them. Oh, and let's transfer everybody over. Why don't I do that first? So, they should be in here. So, Michael, And build. And we should do an engine inspection too before we leave. And Hector. And Leggy. Okay. And transfer over all science. Before I forget. Science. Where's the transfer data here stuff? Science? Am I missing something? Why am I not here? Just a second. Let's close some windows. Why am I not seeing the transfer data stuff here? Transfer data here. Okay, maybe I had the wrong part. And then this one, transfer data here. And if I come over here now and highlight all this stuff, it should all be in that capsule, which it is. Excellent. Okay. And, okay, now I can open up Pack Fuel Balancer and start transferring over some resources. So, starting with food. This is vessel number 7. We're going to completely stock up because I don't know when's the next time we're going to be back at this station. It might be a while. Okay. And liquid fuel, we are absolutely 100% going to need that. I'm not sure if we'll be able to see. No, we probably... Oh, we actually... No, we have not filled it up. So we've drained... That's not surprising, but that's okay. So we're draining all the fuel that's left over. Whoops. Why did it go empty? Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, let's turn these ones off first then. We'll do some balancing in a little bit. Nitrogen, vessel 7 again, in. Fill that all up. Lots of nitrogen aboard the station. You're very welcome, Jason. Jason is thanking me for the tutorials. I'm glad they help. I'll work this one a bit. Hit time warp, but I had my mouse over this when now it's... Oh no, now I do want a time warp. These ones are taking a long time. There we go. Okay, nitrogen oxidizer. There's no need for oxidizer. There's a little bit of oxidizer left. Oh, yeah, just in the little landers. The only thing with oxidizer left. Oxygen, though, would be a very good idea. In. Monopropellant. We're having trouble hitting these eyes. There we go. I don't know what rocket is. Shielding can't be transferred. Waste atmosphere, waste water. I don't even think I can hold on to it. Water, that's all that's left. Water. In. Okay. Alright. We are ready to depart, so... let's actually look... No, let's make the maneuver. That's what I need to do. Undock. RCS on, back away. Oh, and it's called... I was worried about the name. The Nerve 1-SN2 is the name of the vessel. It still says that. This vessel's been docked with the station for a long, long time. And we should be pretty much all stacked up. The only thing we're not stacked up with is liquid fuel. But that's okay. We got plenty of enough to get back home. Okay, and I think otherwise... Didn't even look at the inventory. They got a repair kit. Another repair kit. It doesn't hurt to have that. Okay. Let's set up that maneuver. Let's do that. So, we need to... Now you can see how our orbit, the plane of the orbit, is very close to being in line with Minmus's. So, We are at least coming around. Which way are we going? We're coming this way, so probably around here is where I need to burn. Can probably actually do a little better than this. Focus our view on Kerbin. Okay. Pop ahead and orbit. Should make it go lower. Yep. Timing a little bit. Make it so we only see the space stations there. So this is the station we're going for, the Minmus Gateway. See if going another orbit makes things better. Yep, it does. You know what? I might call it at the point. Let's take this out. We're close enough. So I want this again to be about 45 kilometers, so that that would facilitate some aero braking. Then we're going to use the exact timing of this to get the plane right, but it's pretty darn close. Let's just go 1 second intervals. So we'll not have to make much of a plane change. I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy indeed. Alright, so that burn's coming up still in a day and 4 hours. So we actually are leaving a little early, but that's okay. These guys have tons and tons and tons of resources. What is our orbital period? Right here, 1 hour and 6 minutes. So let's give myself about a half-hour warning for this burn. So add a maneuver. Give me a 30-minute warning for this alarm. Alarm. Okay, let's get back to our Kraken Valley base, which is approaching Minmus's SOI. There's Minmus coming at us. I have played, and I've honestly thought of this as well, is Je ne sais quoi, which I think I played that a little bit, and I really did enjoyed that. And for those people that don't know, KSP is on about a 110 scale as to the size of everything compared to real life. Je ne sais quoi puts that at a 1¼ scale because the people that design the mods think that is very close to the real kind of scale that works with the kind of engines we have in it. So what you do is you play Je ne sais quoi, but you don't upgrade your engines. You just play with the same engines, and that I found fun and interesting. But I've not RP1. I know this is a very long answer. No, I've not played RP1 or Realism Overhaul. Okay, here we go. So we're coming in here. That's pretty good. Let's look at our waypoint manager here. I don't know why I have this waypoint here like 8 times, but I do. It has a latitude of 23.51 degrees, and our current inclination is 36 degrees, so that is fine. You want the inclination to be higher than the latitude of your target. So I think I'm just going to leave this exactly the way it is, and simply open up KOS. Where's KOS? There we go. And get it to circularize just right where it is. So run my circ at periapsis. There we go. So that's the orbit we're going to shoot for. That is a 158 meter per second burn coming up in 2 hours and 36 minutes, which is still a long way. We can get that done right now. We might be able to land I think we can land all this before we have to go back. So that's great. Okay, I'm going to do a quick save. And let's move this here. This here. Let's up our thrust limiter. Let's bring it down a little bit. Wow, the Poodle's a powerful engine. There we go. 15-second burn sounds reasonable. Okay, let's get down there. Coming for you, Minmus. Okay, and run that maneuver executor. Okay. And we'll put her down. Well, I don't know. It might be a little while before we're over our landing site. We do have to land at a specific location. And John's reminding me of to do my avoidance maneuver. That's why I think half an hour ahead for this alarm was a good idea. It's purely for the avoidance maneuver. So it may ended up have drifted quite a ways from the station by the time we get back to here. Okay, just about ready for our capture. See all these waypoints of flags and things down here on the surface. There we go. Well, now I can hear the Poodle, just barely. Think. Yeah, I could hear it just a little bit. Alright, it's close enough to 10 by 10. Let's get rid of that. Alright, let's see here. So our landing... Oh, we're going to be a ways from our landing site. And it would be nice to land in the daytime too, wouldn't it? So what I'm going to do... Let's see, Minmus I think takes about 2 days to go around. We got to wait for Minmus to rotate, so this is underneath our landing site. But I can see here it's going to be... So the landing site, sorry, is underneath our orbit. But then I'm going to be landing on the daytime, or the night side. I'd rather actually wait for Minmus to rotate, so this waypoint is over here on the light side. That's going to be more than a day from now. So let's go back to the Nerve one, and we'll send those folks on their way. Jump over to here, come back to these guys. We'll land it after we send these folks off. I'm being asked, will I be playing KSP 2 when it comes out? The answer to that is absolutely, definitely. I will definitely be playing it. I have never ever played any other game nearly the same amount as I played Kerbal Space Program. So that might be too much to ask. Okay, let's see here. Our station's over there. We're quite a ways away. Let's just time warp fast as we can. Oh, there goes our station. It just kind of blew by us. I made no kind of motion to avoid it. I should have put myself into a bit of a lower orbit than the station. That might not have been a bad idea. Probably would have been a good idea. Every once in a while, we're going to come close to the station. There it goes again. Oh boy, okay. Everything's fine. No worries. I should have put myself into a lower orbit, away from the station, and then I wouldn't have to worry about the station. But I didn't. Because I never think about these things until after they come up. Get away with alarm clock. Okay. Again, put on the... I don't believe I have traction control. I don't believe I have the reaction wheels on. They're on now. Okay. Let's put this here. What's our little notification here? Contract complete. Oh yeah, the extended stay contract. I thought I had to get these folks home before, but clearly I thought part of the contract was to get these folks home, but well, clearly the game's happy with me, so I'll take it. Okay. Let's see here. We got the maneuver coming up in over here. We're coming around this way. So this is going to be a prograde burn, so let's push ourselves a little bit retrograde. I don't really know if this is necessary. Oh yeah, it is. There's our station that way. Push up or push down our periapsis height. There we go. I'm being asked to build a specific type of station from Ad Astra. I never build I'm not much into building replicas of things. I'm not someone that finds that particularly enjoyable. How many ignitions are left on this? Bill, we're going to get you out there to service that. I like building things for function as opposed to building things that's like, this is just like, you know, the Apollo 11 mission. Like, I'm not someone that really... And there are people that do it much better than me, so... Okay, inspect the engine. Is this even turned on? Okay, brand new. Alright, it's happy. I can get back, Bill. Last thing you want is that engine failing, potentially exploding. Oops. Get aboard. Okay. Alright, let's get ourselves to the burn here. Should I use KOS? I should use KOS. Who's the pilot here? Michael. We can't trust you, Michael. Why did the time warp stop? Oh, I know why it stopped, because I was putting in punctuation. Okay, run that control. Okay. No active engines. Oh, yeah, that would help, wouldn't it? Activate the engine. Didn't like that. Didn't exit. Didn't exit that program cleanly. Oh, my software skills. Okay. We're not going to crash into the station. All right, we are heading home. Heading home, heading home. This is not, compared to the other, this has a very low thrust to weight ratio. It looks good. I'm being asked here, what did I miss? We got two things here happening at the same time. These folks are on their way back home with precious, precious science samples from Minmus's surface. And I have a base that is currently in orbit about Minmus that I'm going to put down on the surface. So kind of things going in opposite directions, but that's okay for now. Alright, I should take a look to see what's going on over here. Get rid of that. Let me focus on Kerbin. There we go. What's this periapsis at? 42. That's a little bit low. Might be a little hot, so I'm just going to kind of back off a bit with RCS. It's good to just do that right now. And again, the plane of this is almost certainly not. How did I get the plane of that so wrong? Well, we'll fix that. I thought I had this all set up perfectly. Maybe in the time warping in the interim. I should have checked just before I left, but notice how far off the plane of this incoming trajectory is from the plane of my target station. This is my target here. I had that all set up and it decided no. Oh well, we're going to exit Minmus's SOI. We're going to try and fix that. And speaking of exiting Minmus's SOI, one thing here at a time. I'm just looking at those solar panels and making sure they get some nice exposure. There we go. Set up an alarm here. We're leaving the SOI in 2 hours and 32 minutes. And while that is happening, pop back here, I also have this thing here. There it is. That's the base. I should change that to a base. And it needs to land. Oh, it's pretty close. Okay, let's go back to this guy. Switch to that. It's getting pretty close to coming down. Oh well. It is what it is. Okay, so that is this guy. Should really turn you this way for the solar panels. Put you up so we're watching. And here is our target here, and you can see it is coming close to coming below our orbit, so that's great. So we're going to open up ScanSat here. Look at our ScanSat map, which really helps with this. And this blue trajectory is our predicted orbit. So if we right-click there, we can get a little mini orbit. And I'm thinking I'm gonna go for it like really soon. Where are we situated? I'm honestly thinking of going for it right now. I don't see why not. I don't see why not at all. I think I'm gonna go for it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we'll just move our trajectory a little bit this way. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this on retrograde. And we're going to do this thing. We're going to do this thing right now. Let's clear. I've got way too many icons. Maybe come forward just a little bit. Not much though. Okay, let's do it. Oh, that might have been a little bit too much. Let's point that prograde. Looking at too many things at the same time. Let's get rid of this big map. I don't need it. Put the little map up here. I think I took off a little bit too much. Oh, Kerbal Engineer is putting a bit of a crash zone right there, but there, that's better. Let's focus this on Minmus. That's better. Yeah. And then we're get about a quarter of an orbit ahead of it. And then point myself towards the north. Or normal. And we're just going to pull this trajectory northwards a bit. And again, I'm really going to look here until the blue dots are over our landing spot. Go that way. Beautiful. I'm more than happy with that. Alright, and how many ignitions do I have left on this? 17. I never did upgrade that engine. That might have been a mistake. It might not have been a mistake. But it is what it is now. We're also going to do a number of things. Let's rename this vessel. Because this is not a ship. This is a base. There we go. The Kraken Valley base. We're also going to pin this octo here to the side, the menu for it, because at some point I'm going to need to very quickly switch control to that. But right now I think we're okay. Let's put this on here, put this on here. I'm going to do a quick save because I'm getting nervous. I'm getting nervous. We're going down. Oh, I can also open up Waypoint Manager. Too many things to do. And just select that as a target. That's giving us now a heading and a distance to. And why there's so many of them, I don't know. So I think we're coming over this hill, definitely. But it's in the valley that's on the other side of that hill. And again, the last time I was in this valley, things got interesting. Hopefully we won't get a repeat performance. By the way, the rover's no longer here. This is where the rover landed. The rover has moved over here because it is collecting science from the slopes. We gotta kill off a bunch of horizontal velocity here. Oh, I can see us coming on the map now. I don't think I need to be too terribly close to it. I'm looking, it looks like it's a little flatter this way, a little bit to the south, so I might kind of push myself that way. Right now I'm just concentrating on taking off some of this horizontal velocity. A little more of it maybe. I'm thinking maybe in around here somewhere. Might be landing around there anyway. I'm looking at my dots. See how they're getting closer together as this gets. Let's leave it there. It's pretty good. Still 223 meters per second, so I can actually land on this, but I'm not going to. At one point I need to stage and switch over to this thing. That's all going to be interesting. Maybe I should put down our landing gear too. We're going to do a little bit of switcherooing. Oh, it's putting a dot where our landing. See, this is where our Kerbal engineer is saying we're going to hit. See, and I can bring my dot that. Oh, I love this. This is awesome. Look at that. Look at the dot. Okay, and then I'm actually going to point this way a bit, because I actually do want to come more that way. But I think I'm getting close to calling the... There. Back on retrograde, you. We're still about a kilometer. Oh, I don't like what I've just done. Here, let's... I'm going to give myself a little bit of upness here. Not actually going up, but I just want to kill this off and get my... kind of give myself some hang time. You know what I'm saying? I think you know what I'm saying. I'm too close to the surface for this. Okay. Stage. Other vehicle. Other vehicle. I'm hitting flags and things. Come on, where are you? It's behind here. Command, control from here. Okay. Retrograde. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Oh my gosh. I think I'm okay. I didn't anticipate all of that flipping. Oh my gosh, that really bothered me. How far are we from the surface now? A few hundred meters. Okay, okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. I see this flashing, so we're close enough. Let's just get down. Let's turn this for the solar panels this way. Okay. Okay, slow down. That was a little crazy there for a bit. We're okay now. Oh, there's our dot. Great big dot. All right, I'm calming down. My pulse is returning to its normal rhythm. Okay, we're down. That's good. I don't know where my booster went. It's got to be... Oh, there it is there. It landed without any harm. Okay, that is a base. Where's our contract? Did our contract get happy with that? Type base. It is a type of base. Are you... Oh, maybe it's not now. Change the type. Rename vessel. It's back to being a ship. Type base. It's not a ship. What makes you think it's a ship? Base. Accept. Ha! There we go. So that's done. All right, and yeah, so this thing is sitting here. I can open the ladders up here a little bit, ready for some Kerbals, but no Kerbals are going to be here yet. What we have to do is get rid of our little sky tower thing here. So we're going to control from here, and we're going to... This should have the... It's a decoupler, but... Oh, shoot. I thought I turned the decoupling force right down to 0, and now I'm nervous about it. But what we're going to do is we're going to... I'm going to actually stage it this way. I'm going to quick save, too, because I'm suddenly nervous. Did I remember to turn down the reaction force on that? That's what I'm worried about. Okay, so decouple. I did. There we go. Okay. Nervous about nothing. Whoa! Whoa! We have no SAS on. Okay, that's good. All right, so that's success. There we go. So there we go. We got ourselves a little base. Everything is happy. Is this thing still a base? Keeps changing itself. Kraken Valley base. There we go.